Okay, this week's Parsha Naso is the parsha in which we have the story of the Sota, the woman who the husband, for good reason, suspects of possible adultery. After all, after he warned her not to be in isolation with a certain man, he warned her with witnesses. Okay, there she is, behind locked doors with the same man who the husband said don't be in isolation with him. Now, of course, it could be nothing happened, but it could be not that way. So there's an entire ritual in which he has to be taken to Yerushalayim. A divine name is erased by having water poured on it. Okay, it's in the water. It's reduced to ashes, and then the ashes of the divine name are put in water. She drinks it, and if she's guilty, she and her lover, wherever he is, die in a horrific way in which their sin could be recognized. And if not, she's blessed. So, a question that could be asked is, why should she be blessed just for not being guilty? In other words, if you didn't steal, if you didn't murder, why do you get a blessing? Why not just not be punished? After all, you didn't do something good. Why compensation? Remember, she was in isolation with a man who she was forbidden to be alone with, by anybody's standards. So, I'm going to answer this by pointing out a parallel halacha, in some ways very similar. The case of the recalcitrant husband. You sometimes have a case where a man should give his wife a divorce, refuses to do so, and in earlier times, the religious court was authorized to have him beaten until he says, I want to give her a divorce. Saying, I will give her a divorce, or all right, I'll sign, isn't good enough. He has to say, I want to. So, Rambam and others ask, what do you mean I want to? What kind of want is that? They're beating him. It seems to be a coerced contract. And he answers that, quoting the Talmud, that the man really does want to do what's right, but we all get entrapped sometimes. But in fact, he has isolated his true will. Similarly, in this case, for whatever reason, the woman was entrapped by herself, by all of the bonds that sometimes trap us. But if she could press the button and go back, no doubt she didn't want to be alone with this man and compromise herself to this degree if she's innocent, which she is, otherwise she would have died. So at that point there must be within her some sort of revelation of her true will. And that moment of clarity, that moment of epiphany, which she sees who she is and what she wants, is enough to make her a receptacle of blessing, not just as she was before. So my wish is that we all, especially this week before Shavuos, become more aware of our true will, which is to accept the Torah fully and with love.